Hello, in this math video, I will do a GED math video regarding recognizing functions. Okay, so at the end of the video, you should be familiar how to figure out if something is a function or something that is not a function when given coordinates or when given graphs. So yeah, let's go over the rules. So go ahead and get out your notes. We have some notes to write. So the first term we got to talk about is what is a function? So what is a function? So basically, it's a rule that assigns between two sets of numbers. Each input, the domain gets exactly one output, the range. So basically, it's basically you cannot have the same x values more than once. That's how you know it's a function. So let me write out the dictionary definition of a function, a rule that. Okay, so that is what the dictionary says. But basically, in like real simple terms, basically cannot have the same x coordinate. That's basically what it means. And then if you have a graph, to determine if it's a function, use vertical line test. So they might ask you, they might give you a graph, and then you got to determine if it's a function. So if you have a graph, okay. So what do you mean by vertical line test? I'll show you. So basically you put a straight vertical line anywhere on the graph, and if it hits the graph more than once, it's not a function. If it only hits the graph once, then it's a function. So yeah, if it hits it more than once, then it fails. Okay. Okay. So now you have a better understanding what a function is. So let me, let's do some of our problems. So if you need to pause the video to write out the notes, go ahead and pause. I am going to start now. So question one says, consider the relationship or coordinates of 1 comma 3, 2 comma 5, 3 comma 7, 1 negative 2. Determine which value of x would make this relationship not function. So how do you know if something is a function? Basically, you cannot have the same x value more than once. Okay, so that's how you know something is not a function. So let's look at our x values. So we don't care about the y's. So our x values are 1, 2, 3, and 1. Uh-oh. So this is how you know uh no. See how the x value of 1 repeats more than once? That's why it's not making it not a function. So the correct answer will be 1. Okay. Okay. Question two, here we are given a table or coordinates. Is the relationship in the table a function y or y not? So you just have to worry about the x coordinates. Don't worry about the y's for right now. So what our x values are, our x values are -2, 3, -2, +1, and 6. So based on that information, is this a function? No. Why? Why is this not a function? Because you have a repeat of x values twice of -2, right? So it's not a function, so it's not this one. It has nothing to do with the range, right? The y value can repeat. That would that'd be they're not asking for one-to-one functions. Yeah, that's another lecture, but there's one-to-one functions, but that's another day. So we don't have to the y values can repeat and still be a function. So it has nothing, you don't have to worry about the y values. Cannot have negative x value. No, you can definitely have negative x values as long as it doesn't repeat. So it's not C. Is it D? No, because the same domain value produces two different range values. Whoops, it is, wait, this is number two. I made a mistake. No, right. No, it's D. No, because the same domain, the value produces two different range values, right? So but what they're saying is you have a repeat of x values. That's what they're really saying. Okay, so that is two. And lastly, question three. Hold on, let me clear. Question three, consider the ta following tables representing the relationship between inputs and outputs. Which table does not represent a function? So we just have to worry about the x values and we are fine. So let's look at table A. Let's look at our x values. -1, 0, -1, 0, and 2. None of these x values repeat, so that is definitely a function. What about table 2? Here's your x values, 2, 5, 8. None of them repeats, so that is definitely a function. What about table C? You have a x value of 4, 4, 4. They all repeat at 4, so that's definitely not a function. What about table D? Your x values are 0, 3, and 6. None of them repeat, so that is a function. So the correct answer will have to be table C because you have a repeat of x values 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. Yep, letter C. Okay, good. So now you have a better understanding what is a function, input and output, and how do you determine if it's a function if you're given coordinates or if you are given a graph. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Or let me check my work. Okay, perfect. We got a perfect score, so I'm going to stop here.